On DC News Now, summer hours taking effect for the district's youth curfew.
You can place the curfew all day, but are people really going to follow it?
Can the curfew keep your kids safe? Slightly warmer with sunny skies today, when you can expect the heat and rain to return. History in the Supreme Court.
It's a dangerous precedent.
Justices rule presidents are immune from prosecution for official acts. The fallout. Commuters hitting the roads ahead of the 4th of July. We'll let you know the best times to leave in Virginia, Maryland, and DC. James White! A Moco native makes the most of his MLB debut.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Good Tuesday morning. We're starting off your day with a live look over toward Roslyn. A look from the National Mall. Temps expected to be in the mid-80s today. Lots of sun in the sky, but don't get too comfy. The 90-degree weather returns tomorrow. Thank you for starting your morning with us here on DC News Now. I'm Ben Dennis.
And I'm Randy Bass. Corey and Tanaya have the morning off. Marisa Say is standing by with a look at your commute in just a few moments. But first, we turn things over to meteorologist Jackie Layer. Jackie, looking ahead to the rest of the week, going to be an interesting forecast as we head closer to July 4th.
Yeah, exactly. I know everyone wants to know that holiday forecast, and we are going to be tracking more of that heat, more of that humidity, and also some storm chances. But out there today, not so much. We're actually going to be tracking still low, comfortable humidity. High temperatures, a little bit hotter than yesterday, and high pressure will still provide us with the dry conditions persisting across our area. We'll see those 50s are starting off back over towards our far western areas. We're seeing those 60s for DC, Annapolis, still holding the low 70s for Lexington Park. And like I mentioned, comfortable humidity out there. Those dew points, those are into the 50s. As we time out the rest of your day today, high temperatures into those mid to upper 80s with that sunshine, but tomorrow will be a little bit hotter. I'll have more details on that coming up. Marie, what are you seeing on the roads?
Yeah, well, someone's playing with the camera over here, but this is 495 Route 4. As you can see, finally, traffic is flowing, so you should be good to go if you are heading in that direction at the 6 o'clock hour. Green everywhere, inner loop, outer loop, 295. Everything is looking pretty good to go. We are tracking just a few crashes this morning, so just be aware of that. This incident right here in Gaithersburg on 270, there is an accident here causing a little bit of delays if you are heading in that direction. And then over here, this accident in Manassas has finally reopened, so you should be good to go. That accident is clear.
All right, Marie, thank you. Some breaking news out of Prince George's County. That's where firefighters have battled a 2-alarm fire at an apartment complex in Largo. DC News Now's Liberty Simmons is on scene along Harry S. Truman Drive with more. Liberty, we hear about a tragic update this morning.
Absolutely. Good morning, Ben. Unfortunately, this fire has now turned deadly. I just spoke with the public information officer at the scene who confirmed that one man died, and they also were able to rescue one child, but that child was rushed to the hospital with critical injuries. But now that the sun is up, I want to show you just the damage left behind and take a look at the roof of this 3-story apartment building. It is just destroyed. We're still seeing smoke coming from the top floor here. Now, firefighters, when they got to the scene, they found flames bursting through the roof, and then they deployed their ladders that you see on the side there to help the victims inside. Now, this fire broke out just before 4 this morning at the Northampton apartment homes here on Harry S. Truman Drive. Prince George's County Fire units found the multifamily complex here engulfed with flames, and they sounded a second alarm to get 100 firefighters at the scene. Now, firefighters say the roof also partially collapsed, and they pulled out 2 victims. One man pronounced dead at the scene, and another child, a boy, they rushed to the hospital with critical injuries. Now, they also say that one dog was rescued as well. Now, firefighters say right now 12 apartments were damaged, but the other units were also affected by smoke and water damage, so the entire building will be shut down, and the residents who live here will be displaced. Now, we spoke with one neighbor who says he barely escaped the flames.
I lost everything. I literally lost everything. In that apartment, I want to say I had like over $20,000 worth of stuff.
And back out here live, you can also see that dog that appears to have been the dog that was rescued from the fire. And he has been crying out here. It's such a tragic story. Right now, firefighters say that the American Red Cross, as well as the Prince George's County Office of Emergency Management, will be working to find the displaced residents here a place to stay. And the fire is still under investigation. For now, live here in Largo, Liberty Simmons, D.C. News Now.
All right, Liberty, thanks. We'll check in with you in just a few moments. 4th of July travel is starting to pick up. AAA expects nearly 71 million people will leave home over the 4th of July week, adding that holiday travel, that's up 5% over last year. They also expect air travel to break a new record. AAA projects 5.74 million people will fly to their 4th of July destinations. So here are the best times to travel by car. If you leave today, hit the road after 7 p.m. The worst time is between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. For tomorrow, the best time is to leave before noon. The worst tomorrow between 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. And on the 4th itself, the best time to travel is before noon. The worst between 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. If you're heading back home on Friday the 5th, the best time to get out the door, that's before 10 in the morning. The worst time to come back on Friday is between 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. And if you do hit the road, where you fill up your gas tank could have an impact on how much you pay, no doubt. According to AAA, D.C. has the most expensive gas in the region, the price sitting at $3.67. Maryland, they're in the middle at $3.56. Cheapest gas, that's in Virginia at $3.33. The national average is currently $3.49.
And developing now, a man is recovering this morning after he was stabbed on the Metro Center platform in D.C. It happened around noon yesterday. Police believe the suspect and victim were fighting on the Red Line platform when the suspect pulled out a knife. Police say the suspect then threw a bicycle onto the tracks, hitting a moving train. The suspect is now in custody. The victim is in the hospital with critical but non-life-threatening injuries. Metro says Red Line service is back to normal this morning.
Well, summer hours for D.C.'s youth curfew are now in effect. The new schedule allows kids to stay out an hour later during July and August. Those under 17 will have to be home between 12:01 a.m. and 6 a.m. D.C. News Now's Daniel Hamburg has been talking with neighbors in Navy Yard about that change.
As the weather stays warm, increased crime is a concern in the district.
School's out. The kids don't have anything to do. I think it also is about implementing summer programs, making sure they do have something to do, because I mean times have changed.
Monday marks the first day of an extended curfew 7 days a week, allowing kids under 17 to stay out an hour later during the week until midnight in July and August.
Between that hour of extension, there should be something for them to do. Otherwise, the street will take them.
Last summer, after a spike in robberies and carjackings, the district launched an enhanced juvenile curfew enforcement pilot in 7 focus areas. Instead of bringing kids to the police station, they're released to the Department of Youth Rehabilitation Services. Data from September 2nd through June 24th shows 69 young people that MPD transferred to DYRS that were in violation of curfew. 45 were released to a parent or guardian. 18 were released to the Child and Family Services Agency, and 6 were released back to MPD.
You can place a curfew all day, but are people really going to follow it? I think that's really the main issue that we're seeing today, is that, they say it, the kids or the youth is really not getting repercussions.
Reporting for DC News Now, I'm Daniel Hamburg.
Daniel, thank you. Water quality concerns are on the rise after another delay for the Anacostia River Splash swimming event. Recent tests showed elevated levels of E. coli in the river waters. This is the 3rd time the event has had to be postponed. The CEO of the Anacostia Watershed Society tells us most of the corporations that originally polluted the river aren't doing it anymore.
It was polluted by sewage, trash, industrial pollutants. All those industrial polluters I mentioned, most of them are gone now.
Swimming in waters around D.C. has been illegal since 1971, officials citing safety and water quality concerns as the reason. The Anacostia River Splash would be the first time since then that people would be allowed to swim in the river. It is now scheduled for Saturday, July 13th.
The left fielder, number 50, James White.
And a Montgomery County native making the most of his big league debut with the Nationals. James Wood is considered one of the best prospects in all of baseball. He would step up to the plate and waste no time making his mark on the majors. Wood lined a single to the opposite field, getting his first big league hit in his first at-bat.
Just treating it like another at-bat. I mean, obviously, like, crowd noise, the speakers were a lot better here than in Rochester, too. So, but, yeah, I mean, once you're kind of walking up there and getting in the box, it just sort of just feels like the same game.
The Nationals would go on to lose last night's game 9-7.